Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to our weekend Q&A. And I am going to be taking your questions tonight. And I think it's about 6:58. So as you are coming in, I want to welcome you. And um, I try to keep these things down to 30 minutes. And typically I'm successful. Sometimes I am not, depending on the nature of your questions. And if there are no questions, then we will take off early. So, um, welcome to you as you are coming in. Good to see you all on Saturday night. And I'm going to go ahead. Let me share my screen a little bit here because we do have our new PLR, which is Lead with Authenticity. And I'm going to put that up on the screen. And let me do that there. If I can get down to the control panel here in Zoom. All right, let's share my screen and I'll share. And I think I'm off to the side. So if you have questions as we are coming in, please feel free to write them in the box. And if you are an Ultimate Insider, what I'm going to try to do, hello, Dana, is to um, my weekdays, my weeks are getting tricky. So what I may do, and what I'd like to do is to move our private call to right before this one. I just did it again tonight, for the first time tonight, and we'll see how that works. Just because my weeks are so tricky, it might be easier for me to make sure I'm here if we get together, Ultimate Insiders, at 6 o'clock, and then at 7 o'clock um, we will just do our community wide call, and I'll take your questions live on the on both calls. So any questions? Any questions? I want to try to answer any questions. Once again, we did release Lead with Authenticity. This is about authentic leadership. And if you're familiar with Bill George, he wrote the book True North. And it became an academic theory and kind of a business theory back in 1990. And it came about because of kind of all the scandals that happened right around 2000. I think it was Enron, it was WorldCom, and a lot of those things. And I think that the as the theory went, Bill George kind of felt like, well, sacrificing ethics for stock price meant that people were making short-term decisions. And so um, it was kind of win at all costs, but people were sacrificing, the integrity of their company and ended up losing as a result of that. Now, obviously, we're not publicly traded, but a lot of what we do sometimes really does come back down to making short-term decisions, right? And emphasizing short-term things to customers. So while we don't have stock price to really kind of move us in some of the wrong directions, we can be, I think, time to time, short-term focused. And we will do quite a bit to make a sale, sometimes to the detriment, sometimes to the betterment of our customers, and sometimes maybe not necessarily to their benefit or even to our benefit. So in any case, lead with authenticity. You can get that at the plrshow.com/AUTHLDR. Now, if you're an Ultimate Insider, you're going to use a different URL, and you can get that inside of the member area and use the insider discount, which is 50% off for Ultimate Insiders, and that's where you would get it. So if you're an Ultimate Insider, make sure that you use the member area and get it at 50% off. So any questions? Any questions that I can answer for you? And if not, then I won't keep you. one thing I will, let's see, maybe I can show you something here. And let's do this. What can I show you? Um, One thing I thought was kind of interesting was, I'm going to hope my browser doesn't cause, my screen to go cattywampus here. But let's do this. Maybe you've seen this, maybe you haven't. Let's go inside of ChatGPT and let's do the image, right? So, you're aware that even if you have, if I think you do really need to have the pay plan in order to do this. So let's just say, let's create an image for, um, let's say, video tutorials masterclass, right? Digital product. And we'll say this is going to be um, a product image. Okay, so let's just see what it's going to do, and we're going to do a little editing of this. Now, again, Dally inside of ChatGPT only comes with the paid version, right? So just so that you'll know. So if I click on top of this image in ChatGPT, what I can do is let's see if I'm going to move that out of the way. I should be able to edit this. Let's see. Do I have an edit? Uh, that's for complex tasks. Let's see. It doesn't look like the image editor is on right now. Isn't that ironic? Okay, so the image editor does not seem to be uh, working today. Now, isn't that great? I intended to show you something and it's not necessarily working. Let's see. Let's try it one more time. Typically, you can just click on top of the image. I get some image tools. I don't have those image tools. So, okay, never mind. Let's do this. One thing I do want to talk about is one way that you can edit your PLR sales pages, which I think should be of interest to anybody that uses PLR. I'm going to go into an old PLR product. I'm going to find an old one here. And let's go back to here. And let's just take one of these. Um, and what we'll do is we'll get the sales page, right? So we go to the sales page. Now, typically, you're going to have a sales page. Let's see. No, that's not going to. Okay, let me do this. Okay, I've got to have OneDrive working for that. So let's go back. Let's do one where I've got them already here. And let's see, I think I've got those for AI Music Playbook. I think I have that. So, okay, so that's how that sales page would look. But now what if I wanted to make changes, right? So what I would do is I'm going to go inside. Now you do need to have some kind of HTML editor in order to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this with Dreamweaver. Now you don't have to have Dreamweaver. I've just been using Dreamweaver for years. There are free HTML editors that you can use. So you'll just use the editor that you have. I'm going to open this up inside of Adobe Dreamweaver. And we're just going to take a look at the HTML, right? And so the HTML. I'm going to be a little memory challenged here. So, okay, so there's the HTML, right? I'm actually going to close this up, right? Because I don't need it for what we're going to do. Because actually, we would not really be so much concerned about the HTML editor because in some cases, ChatGPT will redo the entire file for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this up, right? I'm going to close Dreamweaver up, and let's just go back and take a little look at that page, right? So that's how the page is going to look. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to close up that page. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to upload just the index file, right? So let's just go get the index file. Okay, so I've got the index file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell ChatGPT how I want to rewrite this, right? So I've got my sales page, and let's just say that what I want to do is I want to turn this into I want to change the nature of it, and I want to change the nature of it to um, AI voice. Let's say AI music with voices, right? So I'm going to say, please change the sales page to AI music with voices. That is the name of the product. Also, um, add in relevant copy, right? So I'm just going to upload that HTML file, and then I'm going to tell it what I want. And so we're going to let it kind of go ahead and redo that HTML. Now, in some cases, what it will do is it will actually output the HTML file. Sometimes it will do that, sometimes it will not. Um, so what it did, okay, so it says that it has given us a new sales page. So let's download this, right? Now, some cases it will not do this. I don't think that you don't need, you don't necessarily need a Plus account to do this. You can do this with the free Chat GPT, right? So I'm just going to let's put that inside of the sales page, AI music with voices, right? So we save that. So now let's go to that page. That page is now saved in there, right? So we just downloaded that from Chat GPT. So let's see what it did, right? So let's see if it actually changed the page the way we want it to. Let's see if it did that. Okay, so you'll see it added some text here, AI music with voices, right? It added in some copy there. Um, did it talk about voices? Okay, so it added in copy there, AI music with voices, AI music with voices. So one way to edit your HTML sales pages is just, and you don't need the paid program in order to do this. You can just upload that HTML file to ChatGPT, try to do a good job of telling it exactly what you want. And then now I've had mixed success in getting ChatGPT to output the HTML sales page. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. Today it did it, right? Even though it didn't, it kind of messed up the image, but so we don't even need, if this is working right, we don't even need Dreamweaver. right? If you can do a good job of telling it exactly what you want the HTML file to be, then get to redo your HTML sales pages for PLR that way. And so um, now that sets off a whole host of other, right? A whole host of other considerations. Let's see if Claude can do the same thing, right? So let's just take the exact same prompt. We could take the exact same prompt and let's see if we can do this in Claude, right? So let's see if the same thing will work in Claude, right? So let's see, can I upload things? I don't know if I can. I don't know if it'll let me do this in Claude. Let's see. Let's see if it'll do this. All right, and then let's tell Claude, let's give it the exact same prompt, right? And then let's see what it'll do. Okay, so it's kind of changing the copy or changing the HTML sales page. All right. Okay, so what it also does is I think it kind of gives you like what the page is going to look like. So it did change the nature of the copy. So where's the copy? Right. So it kind of put us okay, so the question is now where do I get the HTML, the new HTML page? Where the new HTML, right? So let's just find out where do I get that? Let's see. I'd like to copy and paste into my HTML or have you um, re-output a new HTML and just say whichever that you actually do. Now let's see what it does here. So will it give us so now with Claude, I can copy this. Can I? Okay, so it says I can copy all this and put that in my document. All right, so let's see if it works. So let's copy it. And now we do have to now use um, Dreamweaver for this, right? Let's see. I think I've got a question here. Okay, Dana, let's see. When one wants to, yes, you can upload to Claude. Okay, good. Yep. Okay, so let's see if this actually worked. Now, I'm going to be a little memory challenged here, so let's just kind of hope this works. Uh, let's see. Let's open this with Dreamweaver. And we're just going to select all. Let's select all. Let's put the cursor down there. Let's do select all. Select all. And then we're just going to hit paste. And we're going to save this as a new document. I'm going to save this as a new document. And I want to get out of this as soon as I can. Okay, so I don't think that it really did what we needed to do right out of the box. So now let's see if I click on this, what it's actually going to give me. Now, see, okay, that's not exactly what we wanted. So, I mean, you probably have to do, you have to be a little more specific with the prompt because it actually did output what we asked it to do. But if we just use the very same prompt that we used in ChatGPT, it kind of interpreted what we were trying to do a little differently because what ChatGPT did was it gave us a new HTML file, and we could just use that HTML file in our PLR, right? So it worked the exact same way. You probably going to have to prompt a little differently with Claude, and you're going to have to give it a little more insight on what it is you're trying to do if that's what you want to do. So all we did was we re-edited our HTML sales pages without having to use an HTML editor when we use ChatGPT, right? When we use Claude, it gave us something that we didn't really ask for, but then we may not have properly talked to it. We may not have told it in a way it understands what it is we were trying to do. Okay, let me see if I've got any questions. Um, okay, just arrived. What are we working on? We are working on editing HTML sales pages using ChatGPT. Let's see, someone just asked me a question what we were working on. So that is what we are working on. And we're just kind of, and we are making it up as we go. Just so you know, we're not, we don't have a, we don't have an agenda here. All right. So, any questions on that? So, anybody want to see me try to do something else with that HTML file? Anybody have any ideas? Something you want to try? But basically, so if you have an HTML, a PLR product, and that PLR product gives you an HTML file, you don't have to really get into the HTML to know how to edit now. You can just really, with the free chat GPT, you can upload it. And again, what I will tell you is that this process is wonky. So sometimes it works, sometimes it isn't. And sometimes when it isn't working, it just really is a matter of sometimes changing some of the words of what you're doing because the machine doesn't necessarily understand what you're asking. You may have to say it a couple of times. I'll give you an example of this. I'll give you an example of this. Um, so, for example, one of the things that I was attempting to put together um, a bonus video for for Craig Crawford's thing. Not and so what I said was um, yeah, I kept saying what did I keep saying? I said what did I? Okay, I kept telling it I don't want you to do too much. I'm not asking you for scene information. And so the more that I said that, the more it kept giving me scene information, which I didn't want. And so eventually I just had to put something in there that was sort of like what I wanted and it still started outputting scene information. I don't want scene information. So eventually I just had to keep saying over and over again, no, don't bring it in the scenes. And eventually I had to say, okay, make it read like a book. And that's when it got it. Okay. Now I don't believe in magic prompts. And I think that even if you can get a magic prompt right now, I actually think that eventually these things are going to get smarter and you're just not going to have to go through all these motions right now. Maybe right now it still doesn't really fully understand um, basic like you can't you still have to kind of put it in the format it understands. I think that these things are going to get better. Eventually you're not going to have to know complicated complicated ways of doing prompts because there are a lot of ways, a lot of people who have um, prompting secrets. I just honestly don't know the value of learning all those things when this is eventually going to get to the point where we're just not going to have to do all that. And quite frankly, I have had I think that just using my own common sense has worked well when I do use it. I don't really use it. I don't rely on it heavily, but I do use it, and my common sense has worked just as well as anybody's fancy prompts. And that's just my 2 cents. So, any questions? It's about 7:24, and I try to get you out of here in 30 minutes. Any questions? Any requests for demos along those lines? Um, I did really want this image editor to work, and I don't know why it's not working. I hope that maybe, let's see if it'll work this time. Okay, so now again, a demo for creating a coloring book. Oh, you don't ask for a lot. Um, okay, let's see. Okay, so let's go into the GPTs. And then let's see. Let's say um coloring book. All right, let's just do that. We'll just go into the GPTs and chat GPT. And okay, here we go. KDB coloring book generator. So let's try that. Right? Do you want to do a KD, you want to do an adult coloring book or a KDP coloring book? Which do you want to do? KDP. Okay, let's do a KDP coloring book. All right, let's do that. KDB coloring book generator. This gets 3.6 stars out of 5, so it's a little iffy. So people sort of like it, they sort of don't. So it looks like it says you can do coloring page and suggest a cover. So let's try this one, right? So um let's try this one. Right. Typically the way I choose these is I try to choose the ones that have the most. So if you have something, what's the difference between the adult coloring book and KDP? I have no idea. I have no idea. Now, there's somebody here, I'm sure, who's really into comic books, right? And or coloring books, who probably would cringe that I don't know that, but I don't. So let's just try this. Okay, so let's say coloring page. Okay, so I'm using I yeah, I think it's the same too. Um, okay, so let's do no. Not that. Okay. Do a coloring an adult coloring book for adults that want to reinforce. How about let's do the new PLRs. Let's say reinforce authentic leadership, right? And maybe that'll get people thinking that they should get the new PLR on authentic leadership. So let's do that. Okay, so let's it says here are some themes and elements we can incorporate into the coloring pages, quotes, leadership symbols, mindfulness, goal setting. Let's start with a page with an inspirational quote about leadership surrounded by intricate mandala patterns, right? How does that sound? If you have a specific quote in mind, please share it, or I can suggest one for you. Let's say, let's get a quote from Bill George, the father of authentic leadership. Okay, so authentic leaders demonstrate a passion for their purpose, practice their values consistently, and let's see what else it says, and lead with their hearts as well as their heads. Okay, so it says, would you like to add or change anything in this description before I proceed? Um, nope, let's do it. So let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so there's your coloring book page. Um, Probably could be a little better, right? So let me see if I can download this and share it with you all. Is there a way for me to share this with you all? Uh, Authentic leadership coloring page. How can I share this with you? I think I can put it in the chat, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, let's see. Well, let's see if it'll make some changes. Um, this is great. Uh, can you make it so that we can so that the customer can color between the lines? All right, so let's see what it will do. Okay. That's not, so, maybe, this GPT may not have put in the right kind of instructions, right? But there are definitely GPTs where you can make a coloring book. So that would be the way to do that. Now that one wasn't all that hot, but there are a lot of them. And let's see, typically the way I choose these is okay, so this one has 10,000, right? So that's not always an indicator. It could mean that 10,000 people have tried it. So if I chose that one, it's 3.9. So people are kind of like they don't really like that. And you can see why the other one was rated like 3.6 because it wasn't great, right? It wasn't super great. Um, I wonder if there's a way to kind of I wonder if you can rate these or if one is trending. Let's see if one is trending. See if anything is trending like that. Okay, so I don't see one that is trending. This one is trending. Oh, no, this one is by ChatGPT. Let's try that one. Right? So let's try that one. Uh um Authentic leadership emphasis. So let's see what it'll do. Um Bill George quote. Let's say, okay, it's asking me questions. So let's do that. Okay, let's see what it'll come up with. Yeah, I mean you when you create your GPT, you can just make it private. You don't have to make it public. So yes, you can do that. Um, it didn't start. Okay, let's start the page. See what it does. Nope. Go ahead. It didn't quite create. Okay, looks like it's trying. See what it comes up with. Okay, there you go. So there's your coloring page. So I'll share that with you all. All right, so there's your, I mean, it's not great, But there you go. Okay, so there's an authentic leadership coloring page. And I will upload that to everybody that's here. All right, but you've seen that now. You can do one yourself. Okay, let's see. We're about at 7:34. And that is that's oh yeah, you're welcome, Linda. You're welcome. Uh and once again, I will just remind you that you can get authentic leadership at the plrshow.com/AUTHLDR. If you have heard of Bill George and True North, it's about really doing business according to what your moral compass is. And the more that we can get today, the better. And obviously, now this very same thing is available to Ultimate Insiders at 50% off the original launch price. And so if you're an Ultimate Insider, you can just go to your member area and you can get the entire funnel at 50% off. If you have not yet signed up as an insider, I don't know why you haven't, but in case you haven't, you can get it at the plrshow.com/AUTHLDR. And let's see, I will just check in. Dana was commenting in the Q&A area. Yeah, Dana's saying KDP is print on demand. Adult is complicated and printed out from home. Yeah, PDF. Yep. All right, everybody. Well, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me here since 7:35. I'd like to get you out of here in 30 minutes. And on Wednesday, just kind of as a preview, we are doing Claude 2.0. So I did Claude back in 2023. Claude has done some updates. And then, so I'm going to redo Claude for Wednesday. And be ready for Claude 2.0 PLR videos. Again, right now, though, this is a very special kind of project that we are doing. Laurel did the content for this. Is about 10,000, maybe about 11,000 words. And with that, we will be restarting Successful Leader Toolbox. I'm going to be doing starting the unit on authentic leadership now that we are into that phase. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you again for hanging out with me here. I appreciate you very much. Appreciate you all's attention. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.